but we've got to continue to remind ourselves, because it's so easy when you're under attack to start focusing on that versus what the call is. We've been called, we've been chosen, so we've got to stay focused on that. Today I was watching the Nelson Mandela story, and it really encouraged me, because Nelson Mandela was in prison for 23 years, and he came out of prison as an old man. He went as a young man, came out as an old man to become the first president to have done away with the apartheid system. See, I studied apartheid for 7 years as an undergraduate, because I used to be a black activist. And as an activist, Mandela is one of my heroes. Mm-hmm. And what I realized today is that when there's a call on your life, he went to jail for the call on his life. We seen Paul, who spent most of his life in prison for the call on his life. So we're no different. We're in the fire for a reason, because this is real, it's happening. And as you know, we locked arms to eradicate homelessness within our youth and single parents. And the way that's going to happen is we first got to address this whole thing, this issue of fatherlessness. But we are social entrepreneurs, and in case you don't know what that means that we're on a social mission to solve a problem, for social change, for justice, for truth, and that is to set the captives free. And the biggest thing that needs to be set free is this whole issue of fatherlessness, Angela. This has become an epidemic. Fear of whether or not Donald Trump is going to make a good president or not is not their real issue.
No, because if you didn't have, if you had faith and you had security, it wouldn't matter who was president. Because you would be okay with whatever, because you're okay on the inside. So what's really coming out is we have a whole generation that are not okay on the inside.
Yes.
They're broken.
Yes.
They're not secure.
That's right. They don't know what it means to trust.
Right.
That's why they're in relationships, out of relationships.
I hate to say it, Yolanda, but it's kind of, we're at the point of a godless generation. Well, because if you don't have faith in, in Jesus, or you don't have that security, you're not going to,
It is the lack of godliness.
It's the lack of godliness. Mm-hmm. It's a lack of relationship with your maker, with your creator.
Yes.
And if you're not connected to the very creator, then you're not going to be secure. You're not going to be okay with you're circumstance driven. That's the thing, when you're connected with the creator, you're with the creator. So he's in control of all the circumstances. He's got that. And this is where these kids are missing it, is they're just being dictated by circumstance. And when you have faith in God, do you know that circumstances are the very lowest level of anything?
That's exactly right.
You're okay no matter the circumstances.
That's right.
But all this fruit that we're seeing is out of a brokenness, back to the abandonment, the fatherless.
Yes.
These are roots that are in these children.
Yes.
And in our society that, is broken, this connection with the very creator. Because that's the only way it's going to get better.
Right. Because you're talking about relationship.
Yeah.
And that relationship. There's no relationship. Because the relationship was broken in the home. See, when the family is the single most important relationship, second to God, that we have.
I mean, it's what we can see. It's like if my father, I've gone through abandonment. We've both gone through abandonment.
Absolutely.
It's like if my father that, gave birth to me can abandon me. I mean, the one person that I should be able to count on, Yolanda, that should always be there for me, has abandoned me, then okay, well then who's going to be there?
Right.
I can't trust no one.
That's right.
And that's what root gets into my heart.
Right.
Is I'm walking around with that everything through that filter.
Yes.
And it takes something greater than our earthly family
to
overcome that. Because that was supposed to be the greatest thing we had.
Absolutely.
Family driven.
Absolutely.
Should be our earthly father.
Right. So, then it comes down to, okay, so how do we undo this?
Yes.
How do we undo this?
We can see what we have. Now, how do we fix this?
Here's what we have to do.
You have to read the book.
You have to read the book. And in case you want to get a copy, we don't want to negate that fact. Go to truthpuzzle.com. We'd love to have you partner with us.
Yes.
We are locking arms to acquire land to make a difference in the lives of our young people.
We want to eradicate this problem.
We want this finished.
Yes.
And this eradication can only happen with all of us, partner. This can't be just us. We need you. And we need you to go to truthpuzzle.com now, today. Become
Get a copy of the book.
Order a copy of the book.
Audio,
hard copy, or download the Audible if that's what you want, or you can get a CD and play it in your car and listen to it over and over. Whatever is your preference, please, 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 I implore you, get it today.